Good morning, everybody. This is Max Farrell from fxcopy.com, and this is the daily update here. Before we start out, I want to say thank you to all of you patient, kind customers that have reached out throughout the weekend. There's some cool things that happened right at the end of last week, and some kind of not so cool things, and we worked through the weekend to get them fixed and get them on. Now, it may require for you to do a little bit of work today in getting some setup for you. Prime customers, don't worry about it. Everything's taken care of for you. It's going to be all taken care of. You don't have to do anything. But you fast forward customers and you original fxcopy customers may have to do some change outs on your client EA. And I'll explain to you what has happened and why we need to do that. First and foremost, we already know that we filter out our trades via the bots, right? So we get a certain amount of bots. So we got bot 1, bot 2, bot 3, right? And we filter these out. Now, how do we filter these out? Well, we use the component on fxcopy, and this is called the settings, the EA settings, right? The expert advisor settings. Now, whether or not it's in the global settings or on the signal providers page, either way, there is a spot in there called trade pair, okay, and don't trade pair, right? And we've all seen this box. Now, when we would put in a pair into this, okay, it's not how you really do it. It's like this, Euro, USD, and put a comma. When we would put something in the trade pair, we would only trade this particular pair, okay? If you had multiples in there, they would only trade those particular pairs. That's how it's supposed to work. If you put one into the don't trade pair, let's do JPY, it would only trade, it wouldn't trade this particular pair, but it would trade everything else that was sent over. Now, you couldn't put one in both, right? You could only say trade pair and then don't trade pair. It would cancel each other out, and then there'd be an issue, right? Well, here's what's happened. This system does work, but it was being choked by the client EA. That's right. We worked it all the way down to the version of the client EA that you have on your system, as well as mine. So, because I use the same thing. I use the same tools you use to make the Max Prime, okay? And so this is where we were having a problem. Now, we needed this thing to work because this is a big key fundamental of our success. The bots work like they're supposed to work. They have failures, they have successes, they're going to have assets put on, they're going to not, all that stuff. So this is really, really super important to be able to work. This is a feature that absolutely has to have to be and have to work. So we worked through the weekend to find out what the heck was going on. We isolated the problem down to the client EA, and we rewrote the EA to do exactly what it was supposed to do, okay? Wasn't just, in fact, we had to actually rewrite the entire EA. Very frustrating, but still, we got it done. Now, what's going to happen? Later on this afternoon, I'll send you out another email as soon as we get the email from the secondary coder that everything has been set back to the website and put into the download process, and we'll make sure that you have the availability. You will have to go in and delete your other EA and put this particular EA on. Very, very, very simple, and I'll put a video exactly how to do that in the process and show you in the update screens here when we finally get it on board, okay? Let's talk about real quickly, see if I can pull up source here. My fix. Okay, so we already know that we have several bots on board, and one of the biggest bots that have really started to work out well is the Vader and the Odin and the Grinch and a few, and basically finding the true pairs, right? Because we know that we have to find the true pairs. Let's go look at Vader and watch what happens here. I want to show you even though that we've had a little bit of a down hit here today, from last night to tonight, there's still not a lot that has been overly traded on this process. Let's pull up open orders, and you see that we're sort of taking a small hit in the downside. But again, we're talking about very, very low numbers in the process at the 0.01. But our history has shown us that we do bounce back from that solution. But again, we're not taking this as a whole, right? We're not taking the system as a whole. What we're taking is the Aussie USD, the Euro USD, and USD CAD. We're omitting these other ones because they've started to fail, right? And even though that we have a 75% success rate on the NZD USD, we still don't have it on. Why? Because it has a really bad long streak. Okay? And this is what we're doing. Now, let me explain to you something else that's happening that I find is pretty cool. Oh, actually, I won't do that yet. Let me explain that at the end. Let me show you some of the other ones here real quick for all you fast forwarders. Let's look at the Dex Grinch. Get the summary. This is all I do every morning now that I'm verifying. 1, 2, because I'm looking at green all the way across. Green, yeah, there it is. Green all the way across. Green all the way across. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs on there. So pretty powerful. Even one happened this morning with the Euro USD up good prime numbers, right? Now, if you are a fast forwarder, how do you fast forward this process? How do you take the information from it? I just showed you right there. How do you take that? Well, you go in, you select your EA, right? You select your EA, and if you're using the Grinch, you go to your EA settings and you put your Auto JPY, and you only take those ones. Fabulous, right? Go to your other ones, you only take those ones. Fabulous, right? Or you sign up for Prime and I do it all for you. That's simple. All right, let's get back to some of the other ones here real quick. We looked at Vader. Let's look at Odin real quickly. Odin's still in transition, taking close and trades out because it's the beginning of the week. But let's look how well and where we're at. Euro AUD, Euro Great Britain Pound. These look pretty harsh. There we go. Great Britain Pound USD. Looks like the USD lost a couple harsh trades on the short. Okay. Now for me, this is big. Oh, not that one. I'm sorry. The Great Britain Pound USD is huge. This one. And if you find yourself really carrying, I mean, this is too small of a profit. 14 pips, because you lost 25 pips, right? You don't want to look at those kind of things. That's fine. But if you get something like this, right, 37 pips for 269 profit, and you can overlook the short side, right? It's only a handful of pairs. It's 50-50, right, on that side. If you can overlook those things, you can add those to your portfolio. Yeah, it's it's all right. Like something like this. This is huge, right? Would you add this one? Would you omit it because of the short trade here? Because you got so good on long trades, you get good money on the long trades. Now remember, because we're doing a 0.01, something to really look at is on the short side. You want to see how much can you make per trade, right? So if the Great Britain Pound USD is traded 9 times, made 110 pips, it's pretty close to the standard straight math, right? About 10 pips. 10 or 11, 12 pips per trade it's making, even, whatever. Right? It's made 9 total trades. Now it lost 3, of course, right? If you notice, it lost a 3 in the short side. Now I'm going to try to work on something that later on you could say, take this trade, take this pair with this, but that's a little bit, and there's ways that we can do that, filter all that out, but that's for later on. Let's not get too crazy, right? All right, that's the Odin. Let's look at simply Forex and you're going to cry on this one because it's terrible. We got one good pair that's close to it. That's the Great Britain pound JPY. With two good pairs, maybe not even. Okay, so we have some craziness happening with this bot, but I've always said, returning to the mean, right? You have 60% up here, you have 40% down here, you have 50% in here. This is the mean, right? When success rates flow above 60%, we're happy. When they flow below 40%, yay, we're happy. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, we're happy. Why? Because all I have to do is reverse the trade signal. If we have a really super bad success rate, you know, something like this with good trade volume, yeah, I could just reverse the trade signal from that point and say, okay, so the algorithm and the strategy for this particular pair works in the reverse. When we get across over here, instead of going with a bot, instead of going with a sell, let's go for a buy, and let's see what happens, right? And that's what I'm going to talk to you about next. We are creating I don't know what to call this, because you got a negative prime, right? A negative prime. And what this means is that I'm going to set up a filtering station and just one account that takes all of the negative pairs, and I'm going to put the bots on this particular account, okay, and let them run on the bad pairs. So we're going to take the really bad no bueno pairs, right, the ones that always seem to be messing up and pretty bad, okay, consistent bad losers, under 40% success rate, okay, we're going to put them on this system, and I'm going to let the system filter it out, okay, and reverse the trade. And then we're going to put it out as a signal provider, just to kind of see and track it, to see if that kind of mentality will work, right? In most cases it will. You would love to think it would, okay? So this is going to be negative prime, and we're going to use this on a process like this because you never know where the next big huge thing's coming from, okay? And I want to give you consistency. So you have several different things that you guys can take advantage of right now. One, fast forward, you could do it yourself, okay? Two, you could do max prime, and max prime is really all about the filter, about me doing that work, keeping engaged with the bots, making sure that they're working, and filtering them into one main account that you guys can copy. And then lastly, there's negative prime. Now, negative prime is a play at your own risk, right? Yeah, we may even have to kind of find, you know, we don't even know what we don't know yet, right? So this is still out there. All right, let me give you the last little bit of news. If you've all been here for a little while, you've seen the progression of the membership portal. We have, of course, we have our training section. New areas, there's the Welcome to Max Prime. New areas of information are going to be coming on. There's the Fast Forward portal. This is the one that most of you will be using as you're here. If you're part of Fast Forward, if you're part of Max Prime, you won't be using this. Your Max Prime portal is here now, okay? And you'll log in, and I'll have details on how and what you do from this position, okay? There'll also be a spot in here for you Fast Forward folks that have already been set up, paid your setup fee, to pay a smaller setup fee and then a percentage from using Max Prime. Okay, and you'll have a sign up process in here to be able to do that. Okay, so I just want you to keep that, you know, where it says needed account. You'll click here, you'll fill out the information, and then I'll show you how to access the inside and get paid on that side. For you Max Prime people, you already have it. You don't have to pay for anything. You already have that process. But for you folks in Fast Forward, maybe you're one of those people who are like, you know what, all this Fast Forward stuff, a little bit too much. I got a lot of work doing. Let's just copy the trades and bring it on. Okay? So pretty powerful. Also, as a look forward to the future mentality, right? We have we make relationships in this industry with all kinds of people, and I made a relationship with a trader who has been trading for a very long time, and I asked them one simple question, and this is a question that was asked to me: if you're so successful, why don't you share that success? Why don't you make a copier service and put it out there to the world? And I asked this individual this question: why haven't you done this yet? He wasn't trying to spin me on anything. I was actually very impressed with his numbers. And here soon I'll start showing you what the numbers look like. But him and I talked many years ago about the solutions, about what we had, and he was just starting out trading, and his success is very prominent, especially in the Forex world. Slow, methodical increase on your profit margin. Equity curves look like this. Beautiful equity curves. Even something like this I'm okay with, as long as the hilt and the hinder continue to move in a positive fashion. I'm even okay with dips of depression, as long as there's a return on eventually breaking the highs. He also comes with an understanding of the market, on other features as well, cryptocurrencies, things like that. So we're very, very happy. We're going to be beginning a relationship with this. And as you know, I'm always looking for more things to help us as much as possible in the training and all of it. So we have joined forces with some other companies, some secondary tool companies, indicator networks, those kind of things, to be able to help get as much information and as much value to all of you as possible. I hope this update finds you well, and you can understand that we are never going to quit trying to help you and get things on. Okay. By the way, that membership portal section under the Max Prime, this WB system right here is the call of the future. This is a very powerful system inside the network. And once I start putting together the videos to start showing you, there's a sign up button right there. Once I start showing you the videos on how all this will work in the back office, it is going to be incredible. Okay? All right, folks. I shall talk to you soon. You all have a great day, and we'll get started here with a lot of some pretty wild stuff that's going to come your way. So I can't wait to see your success. Stay tuned for the next training video, as well as the email that says that you have to change your client over for all you fast forward folks. Remember, you Prime folks don't have to do anything. All right? I'm Max. This is Dex. We'll see you all soon. And as always, trade well.